So, it was snowing for 6 hours today, and tomorrow I'm going to be in the 90-degree heat in South Florida. Hooray! 6 days in South Florida. Some of you might not have seen this before. I got this rugged hanging around my neck. Anyway, I got sent a dead XT2 that had taken a deep dive in the ocean, and yeah, someone murdered it, from which it was non-recoverable. And of course, this is the bare magnesium chassis of the XT2. Isn't that beautiful? So this is my video, it's not your video. As someone who A, has no affiliate links, B, is not sponsored, and C, been fixing cameras and lenses for ages, and listen, whatever you buy, whatever floats your boat, fine, do that. I don't make a dime either way. I can honestly say as the grumpy butthole, which is what I am, and everybody tells me that I am, because nothing makes me happy, really. Well, not entirely true. But of all these years, nothing has made me happy as Fujifilm has. They're making the best cameras today. There's no such thing as a perfect camera. Fujifilm is not going to disillusion you into thinking that they have like a 600 millimeter f4 for you to slap on and take pictures of skiers jumping down the ramp from 2,000 yards away. Fujifilm will be the first people to tell you they ain't got that. This is true. This is true. Canon and Nikon still dominate nearly all of the ultra hardcore sports action wildlife stuff. I mean, this is just, it's just a fact. Fujifilm is coming out with their 200mm f2, which is equivalent of a 300mm 2.8, by the way. They do have a full spectrum of lenses. I own all the Fujifilm medium format lenses as well as all their X-series lenses except for the 18mm. And I can honestly say, and of course they say, well, this is your opinion. It's like, well, that's true. Some opinions are worth a lot more than others, however. The Fujifilm is making the best cameras today. They are. They're doing a better job than Nikon is. Fujifilm will not delude you, and I'm not a spokesperson for them by any means. Fujifilm would not delude you into thinking they make perfection. If they did that, they would never issue firmware updates giving more and more stuff to their cameras. Nikon doesn't do that, Sony doesn't do that, Canon doesn't do that. The only firmware updates they get is like, oh, our bad, something's jacked up, we're going to issue a fix. When the XT2 came out, this is a bad example since this is a dead one, but someone killed it, That's nothing against Fuji. Don't you love that all magnesium chassis? Look at that. Oh my God, so sexy. When the XT2 came out, it's a radically different camera now, and of course there's going to be a firmware update here in just a couple weeks. Hey, for the XT2, there have been so many firmware. The XT2 now is a radically different camera from when it came out. Fujifilm keeps issuing updates on cameras, much older cameras than even the XT2 that they don't even make anymore. Their customer service is the best. Recently, I've taken apart 4 Fujifilm cameras. I stripped this one for parts. There's still a few good parts in it. I got a bag full of parts over here. Most elegant design. I showed you several things in the 8 video takedown series. What was it, 8 videos or more than 8 videos on the XT2 that other camera companies are not doing? I was actually surprised and shocked in a good way in taking the XT2 apart. Was quite surprised. Improvements, this is obviously their next camera, their XH1. I'm going to take the XT2 to Florida tomorrow. The only reason I'm not taking the XH1 is because I don't have insurance on this camera yet. I should have done that by now, but oh my God. They have to carry that 5-point spring suspension on the shutter mech. Not the release, but the shutter mechanism over to the XT3. I'm pretty sure they will. The leaf spring shutter release, touch screen for autofocus point selection. Wow. Much better eye relief. You see how much the standoff is here on the XH1. Get your face off the back of the camera. As the grumpy schmuck that I am, who doesn't like anything, I can actually tell you, affiliate link free, sponsorship free, and with much more under my belt than the rest of these guys combined, as far as taking them apart and going over them with a fine-tooth comb. That Fujifilm's making the best cameras today. They are. I'm not one that goes off specifications, because if you go off specifications, one thing, there's a lot of stuff you don't see in specifications. Service, ecosystem, there's a lot of stuff you don't see in specifications. Performance, there's a lot of like high performance cars that look really good on paper. It's like, well, they don't perform that good. Yeah, but they're so good on paper. It's got 1,000,000 horsepower, and yeah, but it's poorly executed. PE, poorly executed. It's a failure to breed, and this is an interesting word people should use. Synergy is when everything comes together and it makes perfection. I'm not saying Fujifilm is perfection, nor would Fujifilm say that. But by God, it comes a lot closer to it than Nikon, Sony, or Canon can put out. And that's the damn fact. As I said before also too, and it still stands true, the XT20 and the XT20 just got a huge firmware update. Like, it's a radically different camera now. The $800 plus range for an XT20. Did I say XT2? I meant XT20. XT20 is #1 top recommended inexpensive camera. I mean, you're getting a lot for very little money. Okay, a lot. Next would be the XT2. The XH1, I love it. Everybody that I notice that complains, they think, well, it's got the same sensor and the same output of the XT2. Why is the XH1 so great? Well, it's like an XT2 on crack. That's about the easiest. Well, on steroids. I shouldn't say crack, excuse me. I don't do drugs or take alcohol, by the way. I guess I shouldn't use drug terms. Namely, considering I don't do them at all, despite my tattoos. Don't let the tattoos confuse you, girlfriend. I don't even drink alcohol. Everybody complaining about the XH. It's like, have you tried the XH1? No. It's like, well, you want to go borrow one. You know, Fujifilm has a rental program. At least in the United States they do. XH1's great. I love it. I love it. I hate everything. I literally am that grumpy asshole that hates everything. I am that grumpy asshole that hates everything. Fujifilm's making the best cameras today. Another XT3 will have a different sensor. It'll be a BSI sensor. I know it's not going to have IBIS. I know it's not going to have the advanced video features of the XH1, which I don't need, by the way. I don't, but that's me. That's not you. So it'll obviously, very, very, very likely, since people love the very tight form factor of the XT2, the XT3 should carry that on, but I'm uncertain about that, but I'm nearly 100% correct on that. I can't wait for Fujifilm to drop their really cheap rangefinder style medium format. That'll be awesome. Man, I mean, that'll just... how's Nikon or Canon or Sony going to answer that? Now, the sensor is a Sony. So, well, Sony's got the sensor. They got the sensor, but they can't make the camera. And more important than that, they can't make the lenses. You know, Sony's got other people making their lenses for them. They're not geared up in any way, shape, or form to produce huge-ass glass for medium format. A lot of you people don't even know. If you go on eBay and you type in Fujinon, just type in a Copal 0, which is a 4x5 or 8x10 mount. Did you know Fujifilm way back in the day, like before you were born, was producing 4x5 and 8x10 lenses that were designed for sensors of this big? By sensors, I mean film. I shot 4x5 back in the day as Calumet. Huge, huge, huge circles of projection. Those are like the Rodenstock Fuji lenses. Those lenses are so amazing. I reminisce about the 4x5 chrome because it's so amazing. It's just super sexy. Now it's like $35 a sheet. Back in the day, it was like $3 a sheet. Back in the day when I was in photography school, I was like, man, $3 a sheet is expensive. Now that's really cheap. Anyway, I meander. But as the grumpy butthole that I am, nothing has impressed me as much as Fujifilm has. It's a divine intersection of synergy and close proximity perfection that's come out of the form factors of the cameras that they produced that hasn't been replicated by anybody. Don't take my word for it. If you want to buy one, you want to test it, then get one from the Fujifilm rental service, or one of your camera. There's lens rentals. What are these other places that rent the cameras out? I don't rent stuff, but I've rented things a couple times actually. So I take that back. But rent one if you want to try it before you buy it. You'd be really, really happy. Excuse me. I'm tired. I've been packing all day. I got to get ready for a trip to Florida. And of course I'm taking my Fuji and one lens. The only lens I'm taking is a manual focus lens. Let's see. It's like, you're not taking a Fuji lens? No, sorry. It's a Voigtlander 40mm f1.2, a really small compact lens nonetheless. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day, and I'll catch you in Florida. I'm exhausted. I'm slightly tired. Slightly tired. Drink some coffee, boy. You look exhausted and fat. Okay. Okay, I'll do that. Goodbye.